Hey everyone, welcome. This is Rob from Captain Rob Games, and today we are going to be discussing the perks and the new killer power and the new killer, Nemesis, that is going to come out of the Resident Evil chapter of Dead by Daylight. As usual, if you like this video, hit the like button, and be sure to subscribe for more content like this. Let's get right into it. Okay, first up we have Jill Valentine, one of the 2 survivors that has been added with this new Chapter 20. So first things first, I'm going to say that there is a lot of stuff that's coming out for survivors in this chapter that's going to counter the Ruin Undying meta. We'll get to that as we go. The first one, going to be a little bit of an example of that. It is called Counterforce. You know how to withstand an enemy stronger than you, and it starts with hunting down and knocking out their support. You will cleanse totems 20% faster. After cleansing a totem, you will see the aura of the furthest totem from you for 2 seconds. You gain an additional 20% stacking speed bonus to cleansing totems for the remainder of the trial. I really like this perk. I don't know if it necessarily is going to become meta, but I feel like for survive with friend groups, especially in tournament play even, I think that this is going to be a particularly strong perk. One, because it increases your totem cleansing speed. You can dedicate one person to getting totems out. This will counter Undying, it'll counter Ruin, and it will also counter doll totems being used for Noed, which is frequent in competitive, as well as normal play anywhere between rank 20 and rank 10. If we're being honest, it's almost every single game. So I think this is a really cool concept. If you put a map as well, I believe that map will then remember the location of that totem. So this seems like a really good perk, and by the time you get to those last few totems, they're actually being revealed for you. Those are usually the hardest totems to find. And you will have a very, very fast cleansing speed. Let's say you cleanse 3 totems throughout the game, and then you get to that final end game collapse situation. You have 2 totems left. One is a Noed. You will be able to have 3 stacks of this, and you will cleanse that Noed very, very quickly to try to recover in the game. I think this is a very strong perk. I think it'll do a very good job of countering Ruin Undying, which is a fairly frequent perk in the current meta. Second, we have Resurgence. You've come back from near impossible odds and you'll do it again. Gain 40% healing progress instantly after being unhooked or unhooking yourself. I think this is pretty cool, I guess. I'm not sure how good it'll be or if it'll be worth it. You're only going to get this effect a maximum of 2 times in a game. It kind of encourages healing directly under hook, which is something that I don't know is always a habit you want to get into, but you might actually be able to get away with it now pretty quickly, especially if you combo it with a Will Make It or some kind of an other healing perk or a medkit. The actual timer of this, I think it takes 16 seconds to be healed, so 40% at base rank would be 8 seconds. It probably goes up to, what, like 50 maybe, if I were to guess. So it's probably going to end up being like 8 seconds or something along those lines of someone not having to heal you. That's good. Is it good enough for a perk slot to happen once or maybe twice in a game? Probably not, but it's a cool concept and I like it. We'll see what the tier 2 and tier 3 looks like. Depending how high that percentage gets, it almost gets into instant heal territory. Might have some potential at the higher levels. We'll have to see what those numbers are. And finally, Blast Mine, the meme of all memes. For the record, I think this is going to be a pretty bad off-meta perk, but I think it's hilarious, and I'm so glad that it's in the game. After you have completed 66% worth of a generator's progress, I'm not sure what that'll look like at the final rank, you can then work on a generator for 3 seconds, and after that 3-second mark, you will be able to install a trap. Now this trap will last for 35 seconds. Again, I assume that's going to go up maybe to 45 or something like that. When a killer then damages the trapped generator by kicking it, they will be stunned and anyone who is nearby will be blinded. Now, if right now you're asking why would we ever want to stun the killer for kicking a generator, what does it actually accomplish? It doesn't really accomplish anything. It doesn't state how long the stun is either. If it's 5 seconds, it could actually end up being worth it. That's hilarious. The reason why this is a bad perk and it's never going to actually see play in the meta is because the effect isn't very strong. You're not guaranteed to get it. The killer has to kick the generator. Kicking generators is actually really bad in the current meta. My hope is that with all of these generator interaction perks that they're actually going to buff gen regression for killers, because that's a serious problem in the current meta. The base gen regression is laughable. It takes you 2 seconds to kick a generator. The survivor can tap it to completely undo that, and the degeneration of gens is significantly lower than how fast the survivor can actually complete the gen. So this is going to be a bad perk. It's not actually good, but holy crap, is this going to be an amazing meme perk. I don't know how exactly you bait a killer into eating this stun in a way that's actually helpful for your team. I think this is just going to be a head-on, a kind of a meme. Maybe you 99 a generator, and they tap it, and they get exploded, and it's hilarious, and then you finish the gen in front of their face. Hilarious. Not actually good. And the only thing is that I don't think this actually stops the kick. Because it says when the killer damages, it doesn't say if it prevents it or not. If it prevents it, I mean, I guess it's okay-ish. They'll just kick it again immediately after, and it won't do anything. If it doesn't stop a pop goes the weasel, then your entire meme gets destroyed if they're running that perk. So, not a great perk, but hilarious. We're going to see some amazing highlights. I promise you, so many YouTubers are going to be running this perk and just trolling people. So, looking forward to that. Next up, we have Leon S. Kennedy. His first perk, Bite the Bullet. Pain hurts you as much as anyone, but you prefer others don't know that. You make no noise, including grunts of pain, when healing. There is no noise notification on failed healing skill checks, and healing regresses by only 3%. This seems like a worse version of Iron Will, because Iron Will, you don't make the pain noises or the grunt noises anyway. And Iron Will is all the time, not just when you're healing. So Iron Will is objectively better than this perk. This is not a good perk. It will not be a meta perk. But let's talk about what it does in addition to what an Iron Will would do. When you are healing, the bandaging sound that gets made from the healing, the killer won't be able to hear that. But usually you're not going to actually be healing right next to the killer. This is like a makeshift Iron Will that isn't really good. I guess, like, you can create an Iron Will so that you can heal next to them because they might hear the bandage sounds if you were just using Iron Will. It's not good. It's really not good. This will be helpful to new players, I guess, who fail a lot of skill checks. Because, I mean, at least you won't be regressing as much, and at least you won't be screwing over your teammates. Because I guess at lower ranks, if you fail a healing skill check when you're healing a friend, you're going to get them killed, right? So for lower level players, this actually might be a good perk. But for at top ranks, it's just a dead perk. It's just a worse Iron Will. You're going to run Iron Will instead. Flashbang, and here we go. After completing 70% progress on any generator, I'm sure that'll change, Flashbang activates. So at this point in time, you can get into a locker without an item equipped, and if you press your ability button, I assume that's going to be E for keyboard and mouse, you will generate a flash grenade. It has 1 charge, detonates with a loud bang and flashing light, it creates a noise notification, and can be used to distract or blind. You cannot take this with you outside of the trial. As soon as you leave the trial, it will be taken from your inventory. This sounds like it is a way to generate a firecracker that is used from the Lunar New Year events. Very, very cool. Not a meta perk at all by any means, but it's basically a pharmacy for a more fun meme item where you can work on a generator and then pull out this fun item. And I like this because it's a meme thing that rewards you for doing generators. This is what solo queues need. The last thing solo queues need would be meme things that prevent you from actually doing progress. This, like when people are having fun, they actually have to achieve like the objective before they can just get their meme stuff. So like your random teammates won't just be goofing off the entire game not doing generators. They actually have to unlock this. So I'm glad BHVR did that. I love this perk. Again, not meta, but a lot of fun, and that's something I can get down with. I love fun perks that might not necessarily be meta breakers. I'm completely down with it. I approve of this perk. Next up, Rookie Spirit. You keep a careful eye on objectives when they're slipping away. If you complete 5 good or great skill checks while repairing generators, this will activate Rookie Spirit for the remainder of the trial. Once active, you can see Aura of regressing generators. This is an amazingly well-designed perk. I love this. Again, will this be the new meta? Probably not. But for solo queues, this is so good. I cannot even explain to you in solo queues how many times as killer I have kicked a generator and just watched it go from 80% to 0 because no one went to tap it, because no one knew it was there, because they're solo queues, they can't communicate with each other. This perk, again, it incentivizes you to actually complete the objective. Once you have started completing the objective, you get rewarded by seeing where regressing generators are, and you can go work on them. Let's say the killer is running Undying Ruin. As I said, this perk counters Undying Ruin. You complete your first generator, you probably have gotten 5 skill checks, most likely. Most likely. So, now, you can see whenever a player gets chased off of a generator, and you can go work on that generator, nullifying the effect of Ruin. This basically, like, again, I don't like how perk slots are overcoming the advantages that Survive with Friends have, but I like that they're giving tools to solo queues to actually compete. I like this perk a lot. This is like a solo queuer dream for countering the Ruin Undying meta. I love this perk design. Maybe it won't be meta, but it's so well designed. It's such a good perk. I really stand this perk. I think it's so cool. Knowing where regressing generators are on the map for the rest of the game is so strong. It's so strong when you're in solo queue, because a lot of that waste that you get in solo queue and inefficiencies gets made up by this perk. So I think this is a fantastic design. Again, I'm loving these perks so far. I'm really happy. Let's move on and find out what the killer's power is and his perks. Alright, before we get to the power, let's talk about the perks and more general applications, and then we'll get to the actual killer himself, the Nemesis. So first, Lethal Pursuer. You've been designed to track down and eliminate targets. At the start of the trial, the aura of all survivors are revealed to you for 5 seconds. What? Oh my god. That is actually so good. I'm sorry for the hot reaction, but this is my first time seeing these perks. I did not pre-review the killer perks before doing this. This is actually insane. And this is so good for new players. I cannot emphasize how important this is. Knowing the general starting location of all the survivors. Like this, I don't want to say it fixes the problem of early game mattering too much, but this is so important. Sometimes survivors spawn pretty close to you, on the other, like a little bit to the side of you. This will allow you to almost instantly get in a chase, and the early game is the most important part for the killer. This might actually be a meta perk. Like, this is legitimately an insane perk. Identifying all survivor locations at the start of the game is absurd. I am definitely going to play with this perk. This may be a meta breaker. Your early game can cost you a minute or two when survivors are just cranking gens. This perk may change the meta. I'm probably going to be running this on almost every single killer. That's crazy. That's crazy. We're going to probably dedicate a video to this later. I'm just in shock right now. I'm so happy that I'm seeing this. But, I mean, there's not much more to talk about this. I'm calling it right now. I think this is overpowered. I think this is insane. Well, actually, I don't think it's overpowered. I think that this is something that killer has needed for a long time. This perk fills a gap that severely, severely hurts killers because you require specific game knowledge to overcome how difficult it is to find survivors at the very start of a game. I think this is going to be insane. We'll see how this plays out. I'm definitely going to make a video about this in the future, so get ready. Next up, Hysteria. You know how to brutalize one member of a team to cause a panic. Interesting. Whenever you put a healthy survivor in the injured state with a basic attack, all injured survivors suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 20 seconds. This can only occur every 60 seconds. Now, I assume those numbers are going to change a little bit. I think this is also a strong perk. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be meta, but Oblivious is a very, very strong status effect. I believe Oblivious is when you can't see the terror radius and you can't hear the terror radius and you can't see the red stain. I believe it's the survivor inherited version of Undetectable. I'll make sure I look that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If you are putting that on injured survivors, we're talking free downs, right? Because if you find a healthy survivor who's Oblivious, you get a hit. That's pretty cool. But we're talking the difference between downing survivors because they're going to be injured. Now, the problem is that early game, this is going to be triggered most likely on just one person in the first time it goes off. It's going to be a little bit weird because you can't actually injure people who are healthy to get people and then activate this perk when you want. You're going to injure a person, and then if you hook them, the next person you hit would theoretically immediately trigger this effect if they're off the hook. So it's a little bit wonky about not being able to control when it goes off, and I think for that reason it's not going to be good. But when this hits, it's going to hit big. Because you're essentially going to be in situations where you're going to get free downs on survivors because they can't hear you're basically undetectable. You're like a ghost face in a loop. This has a lot of potential. It's going to be difficult to use. You're not going to be able to control it, but this has potential to give you free downs. So I'm going to say it's okay. I don't think it's going to be a meta perk, but I think it's going to be a hit or miss perk, and when it hits, it's going to hit big. And finally, Eruption. It's a parasite that provides you with intelligence and awareness needed to set a trap. After kicking a generator, interesting, generator kick synergies, its aura is highlighted in yellow. When you put a survivor in the dying state with a basic attack, every affected generator explodes, regressing their progress by 6% and causing their auras to disappear. Any survivor repairing a generator when it explodes will scream and suffer from the incapacitated status effect for 10 seconds? Cooldown of 90 seconds. Wait, what is incapacitated? Okay, I'm going to have to look that one up. I'm actually not familiar with the incapacitated effect. So that's insane. So basically you can just kick a bunch of generators. Now it's going to be hard if they're focusing generators down, right? But if you can set up 3 or 4 generators, you can get some big regression with this. It requires you to kick stuff, which is unfortunate. You don't usually want to do that, but you're basically setting up, and then once you put a survivor in the dying state, so again, you can't really control it because you want to be putting survivors in the dying states frequently. You're not going to be building up a lot of generators most likely, and you're going to have to be stopping to kick stuff, so probably not the most viable. But it depends on what the incapacitated status effect is. Let me look that up real quick. Okay, I looked it up on my side monitor. You cannot repair generators, sabotage hooks, use items, interact with other survivors, or cleanse totems. So basically, it stops you from healing, sabotaging, repairing, and cleansing totems. So that is 10 seconds if a survivor gets hit with this that they can't do a generator. So already you're talking about good generator regression, blocks you from doing a generator for 10 seconds, blocks you from healing yourself or healing others. That's actually nuts if you can get this to work. Again, it requires you to actually nail people with this. But, jeez, that's a really, really strong effect. Because keeping a survivor off for 10 seconds, that's 1/8 of a generator, right? That's what, 12.5% that you've prevented them from working on. Plus the 6%, that's 18.5%. So if you catch 3 survivors on 3 kick generators, which again is never going to happen, but let's say you get 2, that's stronger than a Pop Goes the Weasel. Now, you're probably not going to get those big effects, but this is really, really strong when you hit a survivor, because it blocks them from repairing a generator. So yeah, that really strong perk, very hard to pull off, but wow, the upside of this perk is insane. And now for the power. So your special attack is Tentacle Strike. It's like kind of a frontal attack, and when you hit a survivor, you will contaminate them. This will increase your mutation rate. If a survivor is already contaminated, Tentacle Strike will then damage their health. Now, survivors can cure this contamination by using vaccines around the map. I'm assuming it's sort of like the pigs kind of like finding a vaccine. And after you use it, you will no longer be contaminated, but your location will be revealed to the killer by a killer instinct. So pretty cool concept so far. Very similar to Plague. Kind of similar like, yeah, Plague and Pigs mechanics. Mostly Plague. Now the mutation rate. Your power expands as your mutation rate grows. At 2, Tentacle Strike can destroy pallets and breakable walls. At mutation rate 3... Tentacle Strike's range increases. That's the important part. The range increases is going to be the big factor here. Otherwise, you'd probably just want to mouse one, I would think. The T-Virus icon displays the current level of mutation rate. Now, in addition, special enemy zombies. When a zombie attacks a survivor, they inflict them with the contaminated effect. If the survivor is already contaminated, their health will be damaged. That could potentially be really annoying. We'll see how this plays out and how they're designed and where their locations are. Zombies, as I said before, are either going to be really, really strong or really underpowered. I don't know how you can balance that. We'll see. Because if they stop you from doing generators, they're busted. I'm curious how they're coded. We'll find out. Zombies can be destroyed by a Tentacle Strike to increase your mutation rate. Interesting. Okay, actually, no. I think the rates are going to be not 1 per. I think it's going to be more like a bar that you have to expand, almost like a Michael Myers. So that's a very interesting concept. And it might actually be a permanent power-up. Again, we'll find out. So you intentionally would kill your zombies to buff yourself. Survivors can destroy them with pallets. I don't know why you would ever destroy a zombie with a pallet. That just seems like a terrible idea. Destroyed zombies respawn after a short time. Yeah, I don't think you would ever want to pallet on them. So this is a very, very interesting concept. We're going to see the application and play some games a little bit later. I'm really excited about this. I think all the perks are very cool. Some of these perks are game-changing. Survivor got a lot of really fun perks to kind of meme with and play with. We're going to test those as well, and this killer is definitely interesting. It's like Michael Myers meets Plague. So, very cool concept. We'll see if he's actually good or not. My concern whenever you have these kind of powering up killers is that they're just too slow and they get destroyed early game. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to try it. I'm going to put out some gameplay videos a little bit later. Per usual, if you guys like this video, hit the like button. I'm trying to put out more content where we go over the news, go over perks, talk about their applications, etc. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a good time. So hit that subscribe button and hope to see you guys soon.